Hi, welcome to Ask Mother, session 158. Imagine. And we're going to be talking about changes again today, part two. So come on in. Let me see who we have with us today. We're just so happy that um, you all have been so wonderful partnering with us uh, as we move forward. Let me see who we have. Come on. Hi, Bessie. Wonderful to see you with us on today. Can you hear me? Uh, want to make sure we're not having sound problems. Can you hear me, Bessie? Just put it in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she can hear. Okay. Thank you. We were just double checking, making sure that, oh my goodness, we're trying to make sure that technology is up to snuff tonight. Come on in. Let me see who all we have. We're going uh, to do a little bit of recap of what we talked about last week and then go a little bit further into changes, just dealing with changes, which is certainly part of life. And I know you agree and know that to be true. All right. Let's see where's my what does Meta J say? Where's my public? Come on, public. Let me see where you are tonight. Okay. We are a little bit behind. Oh, more than a little. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to go ahead and get started, and those that can catch us will. Okay. Um, and so last week we talked about dealing with changes, and all of us agreed that changes is just a part of life, right? They're going to happen. Changes will happen. And how we deal with it determines how well our life goes. We are going to have to learn how to become much more resilient in this day and time. So many things are occurring. And so the one of the biggest things that we talked about was to making sure that we change our mindset. Pay attention to our mindset. And And while before I get all the way into it, I want to make sure that those of you that are on, that you will make sure to like and share and subscribe. So partner with us in our efforts to reach more people. Okay. Um, and so, what are some of the things, some of the tips for dealing with change? And this is what we talked about. Okay, hello. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Sister Ada. It's good to see you all with us on today. All right. Um, and so we're going to go right on. A lot of things are not showing up here on my chat, but it's showing up on another chat. Okay, so just keep coming in. Glad to know that you're here.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Bessie. Um, and so let's talk about some tips for dealing with a change. Like I'm going to do a bit of a recap and then take us a little bit further. Okay. And so one of the things that we talked about is that change is inevitable. Sharon, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. And so we have to be mindful of the future to prepare for what may come. And don't we know that change does occur? And we have to look realistically at what's going on around us, what's going on in our bodies and in our families, our jobs. We have to just be observant, and we have to focus on positives of the change versus negatives. Focus on the positive. Even if you got to get a spyglass out, find something positive and accentuate that positivity and establish a daily routine to find comfort in structure. We are people of habit, and we have to, and if you're living your life kind of like what my mom used to say, by the seat of your pants, that means you just kind of go, come day, go day, whatever occurs, then you're not going to feel comfortable in your life. You'll always be living like on the edge. But when you establish a daily routine and you find and there's a comfort that you establish in the structure that you set up in your own life, and it's important that we find ourselves being sure that what the routines that we set up are positive and they're working for us. Okay. And then um, seek out support from your friends and families. If things come, and we talked about this last week, that if things come into your life and you don't know quite how to deal with that, so you've got friends, you got family, and if you don't, it's time to ask God to send you a friend, because I learned early to pray for my friends, that God will send me the right people in my life so I don't have to worry so much about toxic folks in our lives. Hello, Sister Luann. Always good to see you. You're so diligent in partnering, and I'm asking that we make sure that we do that. Um, Practice self care. You know, in our lives, we just get so involved in helping other people or caring for our families or doing this or that until when we look around, we see that we have not taken really good care of ourselves. We just kind of let ourselves go. And when you do that, it makes it harder to keep a focus on the structure of your life. So always build into your structure self-care. Take care of yourself. Me one time, I was just in such a frazzle doing this, that, and running here and there. And she said, Mom, be kind to yourself. You're not being kind to yourself. So plug in some kindness to your own self and learn how to settle down. And guess what? This is what I say. I used to say to my clients, but I start saying this to myself as well. Okay, Romanitha, it's your life, and you have a right to find the place of happiness and contentment and peace in your own life. It's your life. And you don't want to get down to the end of the day and realize that you've not enjoyed your life. Plug in vacations, plug in some joys. All right. And I mean, for your own self. And don't depend on somebody else to make you happy. Learn how to make your own self happy. I tell you what, I learned how to do. Hi, Sister Deborah. I learned how to, I appreciate my company. And you have to learn how to appreciate your own company. Take your own self out to dinner. You sit around saying, "Oh, nobody take me nowhere, nobody takes me nowhere." Take your own self out. I like doing that from time to time. And I get me a seat where I can see everybody and I do people watching and I just have the best time. And and a lot of times when we're in meetings and conferences, I intentionally go and sit with people I don't know. And in so doing, I've made some great friends, excuse me, down through the years. Hi, Marguerite. And so make sure that you be kinder to yourself. As change happens, your routines are disrupted. We have to learn how to adapt. We have to and do some regular self checkups. Not just medical checkups. Do emotional checkups. See how you're thinking and check out your thought patterns. Are you putting yourself in a victim stance? Oh, poor me. This is always going to happen to me, and you're making yourself a victim. Stop putting yourself in a victim stance. The Bible says, "Whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world." Oh my goodness! And this is our victory in Christ Jesus. And so we don't walk around being victim, putting our own selves in the victim stance. No, I'm gonna find a way to come out on top. And so make sure that you pay attention to how you're thinking and have some strategies to cope. And that helps you become more resilient to stress and make it easier to move through your transitions. And what am I saying? Put some strategies in place. Okay, if this happens, then this will be an alternate route. If this happens, then I can do this or that. Always plan. Leave some room in your life and in your mind and in your schedule for the inevitable, and that's change. And you prepare yourself. Change often happens, of course, when we least expect it, right? When we get comfortable with our routine and we're feeling just pretty good about ourselves and about our lives, then boom, something happens to disrupt that. And and so expect it. So mentally spend some time thinking about events that are coming up and that may lead to changes or disruptions in your life. Okay. For those of you that are still of childbearing ages, and if you feel like, oh, hi, Anna, hey, Sister Vicky, good to see you. um, and so when if you're of childbearing age and you know that you're expecting a baby, shift your thought processes because guess what? Enjoy every little bit you can enjoy because that baby is going to change everything. If you are older and you're going to need to downsize, your house is now bigger than you want, and it's not something that you feel like keeping up, then start planning that. I'm talking about a couple of years in advance. Start having like moving sales, start getting rid of stuff, downsizing. And let me tell you what, I had to go through that, but I think I really made a mistake. But you know why? Because I put things in storage that I shouldn't have. And now you're paying a storage bill that actually, you know, if you're not going to use it, why you want to keep it? And I know there are some things that you might want to hold on to, but to just have a huge storage full of stuff and things that you may never use. I know someone that's got 3 storage units. three, and they never visit any of them. They're, and they've got just, they're paying out all of that money for storage, and they're not going to use that stuff. Okay, so learn how to detach from stuff and things. And that's why I say do it in increments. And so that you can start detaching from things. Because you know what? When you go into a room and all of your books are there and all of your things are there, it's just like familiar space and you feel comfortable, don't you? But and then when you shift and you don't have those familiar things, if you would slowly move, slowly change, then you won't have such an assault to your psyche. Y'all understanding what I'm saying? And so, and if you've got questions or comments you want to add, put them in the chat and we'll deal with them. Um, and so there are things that's going to come up. Spend some time thinking about events that are coming up that you might lead to some changes. Okay, what about a job change? What about retirement? Now, that really takes some changing. Um, and takes some real planning. Um, and what about you might be a younger couple and you want to upsize, you want to downsize, you tired of a little apartment, you want a house with space. Plan it, deal with it, and watch the housing market. I just got through seeing that that interest rates are really high, and so plan for the best time that you can make that move, and create a list of things that you need to do before the change occurs. Make a list. Okay, for the next 3 months, this is what I'm going to start doing. And then after you accomplish that list, then make another list. And you'll find that life moves much easier and you're so much happier with your change when you are systematic in what you're planning to do. Especially if there's not been any catastrophic thing that has happened that's causing you to make an abrupt change. And so if this is something that you know that you're going to do and you have time to plan it, then do that. And then I know that when we have adult children, you have to give them a little bit of space because sometimes they come back and they bring more with them. And so you might not need to downsize too quickly if you are an empty nester, because give your children chance and time to kind of get an establishment going in their life. Y'all follow? Okay. Yeah, you're right, Sister Kath. 65 is the big one. Nah, you just wait till you hit 70. And better yet, 75. That's the big one, Elizabeth. So just, you know what? Go with it and laugh at yourself. Quit taking yourself so seriously. Laugh at yourself and the things that, you never thought you'd have to deal with. You say, oh my, what's this? What's going on? And so give yourself some time to find laughter. You are hilarious. My daughter say I'm hilarious. And people are hilarious. You know what I'm saying? And don't be so quick to cry. Oh, what's going on with me? Honey, laugh a little. And you'll find that you'll find that you're happier. And so um, save money to avoid financial stresses during times of disruptions, especially when you know that you're going to make some changes. Start putting back some money. And sometimes, that's not the easiest thing to do, but look at your life and see what you can change. How many times do you eat out? How much do you spend on a week with eating out? And sometimes say, I just don't have that extra money. You know what? We really do have it, but we spend it on stuff that we really don't have to spend it. Because if you're eating lunch out and then you're eating dinner out and you do that more than 3 times a week, that's a lot of money. Sure is. And so start looking at that and then cooking and freezing and putting fixing meals and freezing them. We just have to determine. I have a friend who on Mondays, that's her cook day. She cooks. She cooks a whole lot of stuff on Mondays, and she divides them up. And by the and she cooks food that's going to last her until that next Monday. And she does it. And sometimes she'll skip a week, but most of the time, she builds that into her life. And she told me that she is shocked at how much money she had been spending eating out. And she wound up saving so much more money. And that she would have spent eating out, she saved. She deliberately made choice to put that money aside and wound up with a really good nest egg. And so think about the things that you can do to help yourself and keep yourself from going um, into stress and anxiety because of the changes that are occurring in your life. Set some specific goals. Discuss and anticipate what will happen in case of an emergency. And most of us don't have emergency contingency plan, but it'll help us deal with the cases that with the changes that emergency brings if we have a bit of a contingency plan. Now, there are some things you can't plan for. But there are other things as we age, as jobs shift and change, as children come and go, and some grandparents are now raising their grandchildren. There are a lot of things that are happening in our lives that we need to make sure that we plan for. If we can plan for them, that makes it so much easier and less of a disruption. What'd you say, Bonnie? Bonnie, you said you did that one that worked out well for us and you didn't have to cook the rest of the week. Right. That really does work. Uh, I got to, I got to do a little bit better. I don't like to cook anymore. But I try to keep cooking because I don't want to lose my edge. Because if you stop cooking for a long time, you don't cook as well as you used to. So
Those those recipes don't work out so
the
well.
recipes and a lot of times um if you a lot of time if you find yourself stressful and need some relief, then that retail, you're right, Sister Davis, you find another source of stress relief other than retail therapy, shopping.
She said she's
You
working on
say
it.
you're working on it. You know what? We do need to work on that. And a lot of times you can do a whole lot of hard shopping and never leave your house because you've gotten so used to just going online. And when you know anything, you have really spent a lot of money. And I see what you're saying, and Deborah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a hat sale because I just don't wear hats like I used to. I'm gonna do it online too, and I'm gonna let y'all know so you can just buy a lot of my hats. And I got good hats too, pretty ones too. Uh,
Sister Ada
so
Jones said that she started cutting back before she retired.
Mm-hmm.
so that when she did retire, she didn't miss those things.
Right, right. That's a good idea, Sister Ada. And you maybe you didn't hear what Lori read. Lori, you want to say that clearer so everybody can
She's
hear you?
she said I started cutting back before I retired so that when I did retire, I didn't miss those things.
Right. That's very wise. And so start planning and you don't find yourself so full of stress. And if you're the type of person that somebody I know is, that it's hard to just stop all of a sudden, cold turkey, stop and work.
Mhm.
And so build in some things that you like to do. Pick up some things that you have laid down that you could not, that you didn't have time to do. And so build those things into your new life plan and make some conscious choices about what you want to change in your life. What are some things that you want to change? I know somebody who just recently decided they're going back to school. They want to change that. They want to, and you know what? Don't never think that you're too old. I know one lady, it actually was Sister Sarah Jordan Powell's, and, she was quite a gospel singer. Her mother got her doctorate at age 99
Mm.
in March on top of that. And so it's really important. You're never too old. My aunt that just died last month, my aunt went to school when she was 40, and she went ahead and got her bachelor's, went right on ahead and got her master's, and and she worked many years in the school system, so, well, part-time as a teacher, and then when she retired as a full-time counselor in the school system. So there is, you know, don't let your age stop you. And some of you on the line might remember Sister Jewel Laster. She was working in the school system as a teacher assistant, and she used to complain to me about being the assistant and all the work that she was doing, and the teachers was making the money. I said, well, go back to school and get your own teaching degree. And you know what? She went full time, moved into the dorm at the University of Kentucky. Yes, she did. And she was 50, 52. And she went right ahead and she graduated and she got her master. You see what I'm saying? And she did wind up that teacher. She did wind up doing well and, having the profession that she wanted to have on the level that she wanted to do it. And you're right, Sister Bessie, it's never too late. And so you can move forward. You can move forward. You don't have to look at other people and be jealous of what they are accomplishing. Look and see what you can do. And when you initiate the change, chances are you feel more in control. I know that's true. It's often the unexpected that can leave you feeling afraid and unsure and full of anxiety. Um, but adjust yourself, face the truth, and stop doing what I'm going to talk about now. Quit um, doing avoidance coping. When you avoid something, that means you pretend or you act as if it's not there. And so a lot of people get caught up with avoidance coping. They just ignore what has occurred because they don't have the strength, they think, or they just don't want to face what the reality is. Face your reality, and then you can cope with it better and move forward. So you don't want to deal with avoidance coping. Deal with what is and prepare yourself and take proactive steps toward dealing with whatever your change is. Change how you think, change how you automatically think. And so I'm going to just kind of give you all a little bit of a homework tonight. And that is pay attention to how you automatically think. Pay attention to your thought patterns. And some of us have what I call hidden thought patterns. Um, and that you've not things, a thought pattern that you haven't paid any attention to. It's like some people can't even cannot, um, uh, allow themselves to be really happy because they're waiting for the next shoe to drop. They're like, oh, everything is going so well. I wonder what's going to happen next. Oh, I wonder how this is going to change. And you never enjoy your change, your happy place, because you're so afraid. And that negative thought pattern can keep you full of stress when you can be relaxed and happy. And so pay attention to your thought patterns. And you want to not allow yourself to have automatic negative uh, um, thought patterns that undermine your ability to focus on the positive. And you make it more challenging to have faith in your coping abilities. Deal with what it is. You know what I often say, tell your own truth and deal with that. And your life is just better, whether to the good or to the bad. Sometimes we hit bad spots, but if you just face it head on, you are then feeling like you're more in control and you can work through it. And then don't never think that you can do by yourself what God is just standing there waiting to help you with. And then um, I always say this: give better a chance in your life. Things that happen, you say, oh, this happens and this happens, and I'm just afraid. Give better a chance. Get past what I call the Fudd brothers: fear, unbelief, and doubt. Get past those and learn how to give better a chance in your life. And so you get used to doing what I call cognitive reframing. And that's just thinking differently, thinking more positive, and get rid of, like Bishop the late Bishop McKinney says, get rid of that stinking thinking and those patterns that always leave you with fear, uh, doubt, where you're doubting yourself, or you find yourself full of complaint, always complaining. Reframe, rethink. And so do some reframing of your thought patterns. And you can work on cognitive reframing daily. You shift your perspective and your focus. Focus more on your strengths and abilities to adapt. Realize what you can do than what you can do well. You can do some things. I look at my own self and the things that I know that I can do well and that I'm good at. That's what I focus on. And when something comes up that I'm not sure about how to handle it, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to talk to I've got really good friends, and I'll talk to them and run it by them. And you have leaders, you have people that you can talk to. But now let me tell you what, don't talk to somebody that's in worse shape than you, because they will pull you down. I'm going to always look up. I want to always see, how did you get there, and try to reach where you are and try to move up past where I am. And so get rid of your stinking thinking, get rid of the Fudd brothers. That's fear, unbelief, and doubt, and face your truth. Tell your own truth and consider the evidence. How realistic are you, even in your thought processes? How realistic are you? Um, you know, you can progress in a realistic way always putting a pen a little bit higher. But it doesn't make sense for you to be working at McDonald's and then go and get and try to buy a very expensive vehicle when you know you can't afford it. Build up, do this, build up, and don't be thinking that you can go and buy a 5 bedroom house when you're having trouble paying rent on your 1 bedroom apartment. You see, be realistic. And then, I mean, that 5 bedroom may be something you want to work toward, but you can't hop over a 1 bedroom apartment, a studio apartment that you having trouble paying your rent and think you're going to make that one great big quantum leap. No, plan for where you're going step by step. And that will keep the anxiety and the stress down. All right. And again, I want to say find some social support. If you don't have uh, good friends that you can talk to, um, there are people right in your midst that will keep your confidences, that they are wise, and you'll find yourself um, able to move out of your situation without so much stress. Look around you. Ask God to direct you. If you are in a really good church, you look around and ask God to just point you in the direction that you need to go so that you'll find yourself coping better and getting some wise counsel. The Bible said there's safety in the multitude of counsel. And don't think that you can be the lone ranger in your life. We need one another. There was a song that says, "No man is an island. No man stands alone. Each man's joy is joy to me, and each man's grief is as my own, and we need one another. And so I will defend each one as my brother and each one as my friend." And I think that was Kurt Franklin. I don't know that you need me. I need you. You need me. Was that Kurt Franklin? Who's
Hezekiah
that?
Walker.
Hezekiah Walker. I need you. You need me. And we're all a part of God's body. And so if you will pay attention, get you a really good um, social support group, and you might be living in one place, and that person that you have great confidence in that has helped you and given you good wisdom may be living in a whole nother part of the country. But that's a good thing about the phone, isn't it? And now we can Zoom and we can FaceTime and we can help each other out. And you always want to deal with someone who's going to encourage you. And if you can't find nobody that's going to encourage you, you do like David did when he was in Ziklag. He encouraged himself in the Lord. And so you do that. You talk good stuff to your own self. Don't I've said this before on broadcast. If you're looking at yourself and you calling yourself ugly, crazy, and dumb,
Mm,
then why you upset because somebody else called you that?
Now,
Because you just got through saying it to your own self.
stop it.
Stop it. Stop it. And then if when changes come, gather as much information as you can about what's going on in your life. And ladies, pay attention. We have all kinds of life changes that occur. So gather as much information as you can. And then look around for tangible support and know when you need to get some help. Just understand that about yourself. Know when you need to get some help. You say, you know what? I'm not doing good. And when you recognize that you're not doing the best that you can, then reach out for some help. Now, I hope that you've enjoyed this tonight, and there's some things that we've discussed that might give you hope and help in dealing with the inevitable. Change is going to happen. Yes.
So, oh, Elder Jackson from the saxophone player says hello,
Hi.
and Malcolm.
Hey, Malcolm.
Mhm.
Good to know that you're online today.
Mhm.
Wonderful. And I'm so grateful for the reality of God that we enjoy. And you want to determine it within yourself. I want to make the best of who I am and what God has entrusted in me. God knows that He's invested different wonderful things in us. And so what we want to do is not to make God sorry that He gave us something that we buried. We don't want to bury.
Mhm.
We want to be able to use what God has given us. And don't waste your breath asking God to give you a more when you've not used what you had.
Mhm.
And the old saints used to sing a song, I'm going to use what I've got. Then I'm going to ask God for more.
Mhm.
All right. Well, God bless you tonight. Thank you so much for coming in and for sharing and for plugging in with Ask Mother on tonight. And on next week, we'll come up with another topic. Until then, God bless you. Father God, in the name of Jesus, I thank you so much for these, your people. I thank you for the help that you are in each of us. And God, I'm asking you to put something real good in the pathway of these, your people. Lord, surprise them. Do something that they will know that only you could do. And then help us as we live this life daily and experience the inevitability of change. Oh, help us, God, that we are able to do that. Y'all forgive me. And give me, oh God, give me, say that to your own self, Lord, give me the grace and the ability to change those things that I can change. And then give me, oh God, the ability to accept those things that I cannot change. And then, Lord, help me to do those things that I can do to help myself and trust you, God, to do what I cannot do. God bless you tonight
Mhm.
until we meet again. And don't forget Midnight Cry. And the number is on the screen. And happy Thanksgiving to each of you. Yes, I know you will, Sister Vicky. Make the best of who you are. And happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And until we meet again, God bless you. Good night. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make some sweet potato pie.